Mm,
All right, can you hear me now?
yeah.
Dude, I was talking the whole time. I had my microphone on silence.
No,
They
I
couldn't
thought
hear.
you just like did. I thought you were like doing something.
No, no, we're good. Okay, so we're gonna first. I don't want to bombard you right away. Okay, but what I want to do is I want to refresh what we learned yesterday, and not
Yeah.
yesterday, last week. Okay, so we learned. So we're gonna go. We kind of discussed a little bit of factoring binomials. That's what we discussed.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a quick refresh with a few problems. Then we're gonna take like a 2-3 minute break just to let that sit in, and then after that we're just gonna go and go through the class because the next topic, it's 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 gonna be a little bit heavy. Just let's see that.
All right.
Okay, so and just to give you just a heads up, we're gonna learn. Hold on. We're going to know how to go from here, right? And I'll give you one that kind of, for example, something like that looks like this, right? So we're gonna learn how to, if it's factorable, we can factor it that way, right? Or
Yeah.
if we're just gonna factor it this way, right? We only can take one out. So depending on how a binomial, remember a binomial just means that it has an exponent of two, right? A binomial,
Yeah.
we're just gonna learn how to factor that. So, but before we go into that, I want to make sure that we know the factoring that we did before because that's just the practice, the math practice. What we're gonna go into next is gonna be more of a concept, a little bit of you understanding why. Because I don't want you to forget, dude. Like you forget if you lose practice, right? But if you understand, it's harder for you to forget. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's get on to it. So let's go through the first example together. Okay, so the first
Mm-hmm.
example together, it's gonna be like this. It's gonna be 8x squared plus 4x. And let's make that equal to 0. Okay, we did that last time, remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so to start, here, give me 1 second. But by the way, is it? Can you hear the background noise a little bit or no?
No.
Oh, it's pretty good. Okay, all right. This is my daughter's watching something. Anyways,
Yeah.
so here, one thing, first thing we got to identify is what is together and what is not together. And the reason why is when you have something together, you treat that as one. So, so this is one thing, and this is one thing, or is this one thing? So that's kind of what you have to think about first. My personal opinion is anything that you see a plus or a minus, and there's two things in between, next to each other. So, for example, here's a plus sign, right?
Yeah.
And then you see this is on the left side, and this is on the right side of the plus
Yeah.
sign. Those two are two separate things. So there you can see them as two. Okay, you can see them as two independent things and ask yourself, okay, so since there are two on its own, what can I factor from each of them? What's similar from each of them that I can factor out? Why do I have to make that example? Because this would be considered together. What's together here? The 8.
Yeah.
What else?
And the x squared.
That's right. So what is the 8 and the x squared doing? What math thing they're doing that when they're together like this? Do you know?
They're multiplying.
That's right. So when you have two things multiplying, think of them as together. Good? So,
Mm-hmm.
all right. So now that we have that out of the way, now let's look at this, at the 8x squared and the 4x. Two things that are, they're separate. Let's look first at the number. First thing we're going to look as is at el número, the number,
Mm-hmm.
right? So can you factor something out of those?
4.
Dude, you're so smart, dude. That's right. 4, right? 4 goes into 8 and 4. Okay, so you factor out of 4. Good. So we're done
Yeah.
with that. So we factor out of 4. This 8 actually becomes like a 2, right? You can
Yeah.
take 2 out of that, and this one becomes like a 1, right? Like this is kind of the thing we do in our head. Okay.
Yeah.
Next step. X. They both have x's, right? They both have the x. One has an x squared and one has an x.
Yeah.
Is that similar? Is that something in common between those two?
Yeah.
So
They both have
what can we take out?
x
Why not? Why can't we take out an x squared?
because 4x doesn't have x. 2x's
That's
has
right.
1.
Good, dude. Okay, so now that we kind of made that, now let's create the parentheses. Because now since we took something from both of them, right?
Yeah.
When we take it out like we did here, it's the 4x, like here, right? We this 4x comes from here and from here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now that we took it out, what what do we end up with? What should go inside that parentheses? So, do you know? Do you want to tell me?
Wait. Is it repeat? I wasn't paying attention.
All right, let's go again. So, do you know how we got this 4x?
We took 4x out of both. We factored out 4x.
That's right. 4x happens to be a factor, right? For
Yeah.
8x squared and 4x. Perfect, right?
Mm.
Okay, now since we took it out, right, from both of them, this is the negative. We go from here to here in that process. We took that
Uh-huh.
4x out, right? And now the reason why the next thing I put is a parenthesis is because I gotta put something here that if I multiply this 4x with, I'm gonna go back to what I originally started. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I have to. I should go backwards. I should go back and forth from one step to the next, right? So from
Yeah.
here, in a sense, we're like dividing. From here to here, we're kind of factoring, which factoring is like dividing. And if I want to go
Yeah.
from here to here, I multiply, kind of the opposite, right? So let me do this for you, and maybe the further examples, you'll get it. It'll make sense, right? Again, my
Yeah.
English is a veces no está muy bien. It's not the
Mhm.
best to explain things, right? So
Yeah.
so first thing, the way I do is like, okay, how do I go from 4x to 8x squared? So what I need to put here, if I multiply this, by 4x, I should get exactly 8x squared. So
Yeah.
how do I do that? So first, let's focus on the number 4 and 8. What do I need to multiply 4 to get 8?
2.
Times 2. So this number is 2.
Mm.
The first number here.
Yeah.
So far, so good?
Yeah.
All right, so we're done with the number. Now let's do the x. So we have an x here. X times what variable here? It's going to give me x squared.
Uh,
What should go here?
what variable there will make you get x squared?
Okay, so let me show you what's happening. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
we had 8x squared. Let's just focus on this 8x squared, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and we said we factor out an
Oh.
4x. We took out a 4x from here, right? So hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna factor out a 4x. All right, but
Yeah.
that means that I cannot change the value of that. Whatever I'm gonna do, I still have to make it equal 8x squared.
Yeah.
If I can factor out a 4 and 8, I don't care. It's just that I have to make sure that the original value doesn't change. Okay, cool. So if I take out a 4x, that means I have to multiply by something to get back to 8x squared. So if I have 4x, let's multiply the first. Well, 4 times what number is going to give me 8? Well, times 2.
2.
4 times 2
Then
gives me 8. So what would be, so now the variable, right? So I have
yeah.
x times what what should I put here so I can get back to the original value of x squared?
X.
Why?
Because x times x is x squared.
That's right. So you see
Yeah.
how we're going backwards? So we going, o sea, from here to here, we're like, oh, well, you can take out an x, right? But if you go from this step to back to 8x squared, you have to multiply. That's good. Yeah. So x multiply. So we did the numbers first. The 4 and the 2 make the 8. And then we did the x and the x make the x squared. Okay?
Yeah.
So now let's go back here. So 4 times 2, we said it was 8. So then x goes here again. X times x is x squared. Right?
Yeah.
Now here we have, what sign would go here? In this case, it would be a plus in this particular case. Why?
Yeah.
Because as we factor out a positive 4, we need to get back to positive 4. So,
yeah.
positive times positive. Now you tell me, what value should go here?
X.
Like this? So you're saying, so remember, it's, whatever value that you put here, which in this case is x, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Okay, you're going to tell me if it's right or wrong, okay? But if you say it's x here, remember, we're saying that if I multiply this, whatever I factored out, times this, I should get back to what?
4x.
I should get back to that original thing, right? Why?
Yeah.
Because that's what we did for here. We went from 4x, we multiplied times 2x to get what?
8x squared.
8x squared. And we did. 4 times 2 is 8. X times x is x squared. Perfect. Now let's do the same thing for here. You said it was x. So now let's do it. What's 4x times x?
4x squared.
What is this?
4x.
That's right. Let's try again.
1?
That's right, dude. Just 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you write that with me?
Yeah.
Writing this problem? Good. All right. So that is the most important part out of this, about today. The factoring part, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we factored, now let's look back at the original equation. Now let's reassess and what's going on. What is this whole problem doing? Well, what this problem is doing is this entire thing on this side is equal to 0, to nothing, right? Now, what did I share with you last time? Well, if you remember, let me go back. If you remember, it was this example that we spent a long time, right? But remember I said, if I have two things, whatever, and we said L for Luca and I for Isaac, right? If we have two things that are multiplying, it doesn't matter what L and I is, right?
Yeah.
But if I multiply these two and that equals 0, what can you tell me about L and I? What did we kind of come up with?
Wait, I don't know what you said, bro.
All right, yeah. No, that's weird. And look, I'm going to stop a little bit and I'm going to be very real with you about this. So the reason why this is difficult in the beginning is because the type of learning that you're learning is more of a conceptual more than a practice. I'm not going to give you 10, 15, 20 problems to do and you memorize that problem. So, but because that takes time, right? It's dude. The other way of learning, which would be conceptually, dude, it's random. Sometimes you learn it like this, and sometimes you beat yourself to it, but you're learning. But the key thing about learning conceptual, and I'm glad that you told me that, hey, you know what, I'm lost, is anytime you don't understand or hear something, you have to tell me, because learning conceptual, you have kind of listen to the logic behind the steps that we're going to. So right now, this is the logic behind it, right? So what happens when something's equal to 0, right? When we have two things multiplying. So remember, when we have 3 times 0, what is that?
0.
Good, right? So anything times 0 is
0.
Okay. So if we have two things, variables, fractions, doesn't matter. But let's call one thing L for Luca.
Yeah.
And let's call another thing I for Isaac. And those two things are multiplied. Parentheses means the parentheses means the multiplication. So you're multiplying what's inside with what's outside, right? So we know if the equation is that this times this equals 0, then we don't need to know the actual values for L. We don't need to know that L is like 3x, but we don't need to know anything. One of the things we automatically know when we have this in an equation equal to 0 is anything that's multiplying. In this case, these two things are multiplying, right?
Yeah.
Either one of them
Can be 0.
not they don't I mean, if both are 0, that would be good too, but either one could be 0. Because 0, if L is 0 and I is forever millions, right?
Yeah.
It still would be 0. Okay, good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now let's go back to this. So what are my two things multiplying here, Luca, in this problem here? What are my two things multiplying here?
4x
Okay, that's one. And what's the other one?
and 2x plus 1.
That's right. So this
Yeah.
is multiplying with this, right?
Mhm.
Again, let's identify the parentheses, what's inside and outside. Good. Okay. So now that we identified those two things, what can you and both of these, this is equal to what?
0.
So now what can you tell me about this problem? Like what would be the next step that we could do?
Um, for it to equal 0.
Yeah, well, for it to equal 0, what though? What would equal 0?
Um, we
No, it's good. You're good. You're good. I know that this is the part that it's actually going to help you learn when you're actually thinking about it. That's the brain activity that you're making the neuron connections and stuff. But anyways, let me kind of walk you through and guide you. Okay, remember, what two things here are multiplying in this problem here? What two
L
things?
and I.
L and I. And if you multiply each of these together, the equation tells you that it's going to equal what?
0.
0, right?
Yeah.
It's funny, dude. Like, I see you over here. That's why I'm like, and my camera's right there, right? So it's funny. I see over there.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I mentioned since this is multiplying with this, and I identified L as one thing and I as one thing, and those two things are multiplying, then I can make one equal to 0.
Yeah.
I can make L equal to 0, or
I.
I'm equal to 0. Because I
Yeah.
identified the two things that are multiplying, and that equation is telling me that it's equal to 0. Now let's go
Yeah.
back to the example that we're working on right now. So now that we have these, what are I ask you kind of again, what are my two things that are multiplying here? You kind of said it earlier.
4x and 2x plus 1.
That's right. So now this whole equation is equal to what?
0.
So what can we do? What's the next thing how can we set it up next?
4 times 0.
4 times 0, like this. That would be
Yeah.
the next thing I would write.
Uh,
That's cool. Let's go back. Remember, I want you to set it up like this. I'm not looking for the answer right now. I'm looking for the step behind because I want you to visually see what's going on. I don't care about the answer right now at the moment. I don't care where X is. Right now, I want you to know the logic behind. I have two things multiplying. I'm going back to the same thing because you got to get that idea ahead. I have two things multiplying. I have L and I. Again, L can be 6x plus 4y minus 3. L could be whatever. I don't care what it is. But all I know is that the entire L is multiplying with I. And if those two are multiplying, it's equal 0. So automatically, without even thinking about the answer, without even solving anything, right away I can set it up in two ways. I can set it up my first thing, that it's L. I can set it up that equal to 0. Why? Because if this is 0, my whole problem is 0.
Yeah.
And same thing with the other thing that I have, which is I in this case inside. That entire thing, in this case I also make it to 0.
Yes.
The logic behind, Luca, is if I have What is that equal to?
0.
That's right. I don't care what this is. I don't care what value this is.
Yeah.
3x plus 4. All I know is this is multiplying 0. So if this multiplied by 0, that
0.
equals 0. That's why it's important to really understand the significance of a problem when it's equal to 0. As soon as you see a problem equal to 0, it's not your 3 plus 3 equals 6. It's no. Right away, there's something else that needs to click. And that thing that I want you to that needs to click is this. When you identify two things that are multiplied and it's equal to 0, break them apart and make each of those things equal to 0. That is the part that I want you to figure out on your own. That is the critical thinking that is difficult to do for some students, right? But that's the reason I push it, because it needs to be clear like that. But now that I told you, because I made you work for a little bit, hopefully kind of makes sense. So now I'm gonna kind of guide you structure beginning. So we factored, right? And we got two things. And you said one of them was the 4x, and this is multiplying with the 2x plus 1. And this entire equation equals 0. Now, how can I set it up next? What would,
4x or
keep going.
4x times times 3x?
Okay. How'd you get 3x from?
Because 2x plus 1.
2x plus 1 equals 3x?
Yeah.
Luca.
Bro,
What's going on?
bro, I don't know.
And
I don't know. I don't know what what's what you're just what to do next from 4x.
I know. And the thing is, like, that's the problem. Right? You're about to go into high school. You're about to go into college, like beginning of algebra. The fact that you are messing up 2x plus 1 equals 3x, I feel like I have to go really far back. Like I have to go back into explaining what variables, the difference between a variable and a number, and why you can't add a number with a variable. You can't add x plus 1, it's not x. It's not 1x. X plus 2 is not 2x. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 1 is 2. X plus x is 2x. X plus 5x is 5x. You cannot add 3 plus x. It's not 3x. Those things, if you forgot and you needed something like a little bit, I'm going to tell you right now, it's worth taking the time to learn these things, because it's going to get really complicated, dude. This is the simple math right now. This is like beginning of the pre-algebra stage. And I want you, I'm going to help you get really clear, but these things we have to be really aware. I'm kind of keeping it real with you, right? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. There's a reason why students that are in math class, if they have a B or an A and they fall back to a D or a C, the catch up is much harder, because the fall back from an A to a D means that you lost a lot of things that were learned in math, and then to catch up you have to really relearn all that plus what you're trying to keep up with, right? So the solution that I'm trying to give you right now is an accelerated course, but the accelerated course is not going to work if we're not 100% here, right? So we can adjust it into, we have 5-10 minute sessions where we go all in, and then we have 2-minute breaks. You can zone out, or we can just, whatever works. You're discovering yourself on how you're learning on these complicated topics that you're going to be learning in school. That's just the reality of it, bro. So let's I'm going to do this one for you, okay? And then it's gonna click. It's gonna click. Trust me. So the example that I give for Li, we kind of said that L times I equals 0. So I can just make two separate equations. When L, if I know what L is, right? If that's 0, and I know what I is when it's 0, this problem will always be true, right? If L is 0, well, 0 times I is 0. If I is 0, L times 0 is 0. So what I'm trying to show you here is, when I have a problem with two things multiplying, or three things, or four things, or five things, any two things or any things that are multiplying together, you can break them apart individually and make them both equal to 0. Each of them equal to 0. So if I do that same logic, what are my two things here? 4x and 2x plus 1. So I wanted to kind of pretend this 4x is your L, and this 2x plus 1 is your I. That's kind of what I wanted you kind of like visually put together in your head. So now let's visually put it together here. Okay? So we have 4x equals 0, or it could be 2x plus 1 equals 0.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah? So
Yeah.
you kind of recognize how, because you identified the two things. When I said, hey, bro, like, what are the two things? You're like, oh, 4x and 2x plus 1. Perfect. That's it. The next step was just that. It was just that. It was just making this next step. It's just making each of those things that you identified equal to 0. That's it.
Yeah.
So now that we did that, we have two equations, right? We have this one, 4x equals 0, and this one. Now that you set it up, the next step, Luca, it is to solve. Now we do solve each one. All right, so can you do that for me? Can you do 4x equals 0? Can you solve that for me?
Yeah.
So let's do 4x plus 1. 4x equals 0. Let's do that. What would it be? We have to isolate x, right?
Yeah. So you subtract 4.
Okay. Oh, subtract 4 on both sides. Let's see what happens. Okay. What's 4x minus 4?
X
Okay. And what's 0 minus 4?
-4.
-4. Yeah. Okay. So now let's go back and check it, right? Hey. All right. Let's now check it for me. Now, when you get this answer, do you agree? Do you agree that if you get -4 and you plug it back in here, you should get 0? Do you agree? Or
Yeah.
no?
Wait.
Right? So for example, you right now you told me what x equals, right? You said, "Hey, this is the math, x equals this," right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if this is my answer for x, for this value here, it means that if I take this value, -4 that I got, and I put it here for x, I substitute it. That's the word that it's called for x. This
Yeah.
equation should be true. I should get this. I should get 0 on this side.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the 4 and the x are doing here?
Then what? Okay, so it's not -4.
That's right. Yeah, it's not -4. You don't subtract 4, bro. Yeah. What is it?
Oh, you divide.
That's right. You divide.
Oh, yeah, bro.
What? And you divide because you're trying to get rid of the 4, right? And how do you
Yeah.
get rid of the 4? It's multiplying. But again, I'm not gonna be like. I'm glad you figured it out. So now it's gonna be even more harder for you to make that mistake a second time.
Yeah.
So now you can cross this out, right? 4 divided by 4.
Yeah.
So on this side, you're left with x. Now, what's 0 divided by 4?
0.
That's it, man. So so that's one solution for this problem. X equal to 0 before, because of this equation. Yes?
Yeah.
Now let's do the next one. Now let's do this one. 2x. Let's do this one. Let's solve for x. Isolate x for me. What would be the first step to do?
You would subtract 1.
Okay. To both sides.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. And that's really good, right?
Yeah.
And like I mentioned before, just really quickly, when you see a plus, right away you know that this and this are two separate things, right?
Yeah.
So it's easier to isolate what's further away from the x, which is this plus 1. It's adding 1 to it. So yeah, subtract 1 from it, right? So that means that you get rid of this on this side, and what are you left? You're left with 2x on the left side, right?
Yeah.
And then what are you left with on the right side? I mean, you're left with 2x on the left side, and on the right side you're left with what?
-1.
That's right, -1. Next step to do. What's the next thing to do?
Divide by 2.
Like that. You see how you didn't make that same mistake again?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, man. Dude, people are so smart. You have no idea how smart you could be. People could be. All right. So this cancels out, right?
Yeah.
Right. So what have we left it on the left side?
X
And on the right?
and negative 1/2.
That's right, man. Let's make it consistent. That's right. Those are your two answers for that problem. So for this particular problem, for this problem, so if we just 8x squared plus 4x equals 0. For this problem, there are two solutions. X could be 0 or x could be negative 1/2. Right? And I'll do this for you just so you know. And you don't have to write this down for me, but I'll do this for you. So I'm going to first put x for 0. This is 0, right? 8 times 0.
Yeah.
This is also 0, right? So you kind of see how
Yeah.
this one works. Okay, so this one checks out, right?
Yeah.
Now let's put in x equals 1 negative 1/2. Oh, that looks complicated. I'm scared. Oh no. A fraction with an exponent, right? Freaks people
Yeah.
out. All right, but then remember, just this. That's all it is, right?
Yeah.
So 8 times, well, what's negative 1, negative 1/2 squared? Well, negative
But
times negative is positive, right? So I'm doing this. I'm doing this part right here.
yeah.
This part right here. This one right here. Negative. Okay. So negative 1/2 times negative 1/2. Well, when you multiply two numbers of the same sign, it's positive. So
Yeah.
1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4.
4.
So this fraction here is 1/4. Okay. Plus, now, well, actually not plus. Let's multiply. What's outside here? Negative 4, about positive 4, sorry. And what's inside here? Negative 1/2. We're
Negative 1.
multiplying 4 times negative 1/2. That's what we're multiplying. Okay. So when you multiply two numbers with different signs, one is positive and one is negative, the answer will always be negative. Okay, so
Yeah.
4 is positive. So now what's this? What's 4 times 1/2?
2.
2. Okay, good. So now what's 8 times 1/4?
8 times 0.25.
Or 8, or you could go like this. That's 8 over 4 minus 2 equals 0. You multiply across. 8 times 1 is 8. 1
Yeah.
times 4 is 4. What's 8 divided by 4?
2.
What's 2 minus 2?
0.
So this also checks out. So that's the thing about math, Luca. Like when you're solving your problems in class, whether it's a test, a quiz, or whatever it is, finish your test, right? And if at the end you're not sure about a problem, just plug it back in. Plug that value that you go back and make sure that it's correct. So since it's both checked out, that means our problem is correct. Good? All
Yeah.
right. I'm gonna give you one for you to try on your own.
All
I'm
right.
gonna give you like about 3 minutes. You might think it's not a lot, but it's a long time. Try to stare at a wall for 3 minutes, dude. You go
All right.
insane. You go crazy if you stare at the wall for 3 minutes. Anyways, all right. So ready? So I'll be a simple one. Example. The example is gonna be ah. Hold on. I always do dumb things like this. All right, let's go. Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you about 2-3 minutes, and I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. Equals 0. Bobby. Yeah. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get your brothers. From where? From the airport. The airport? By the airport. I'm meeting Eileen. I'll be back.
All right.
I'm almost done. Hold on.
Oh, for sure. My bad. I came too fast, huh?
Yeah.
No, I saw you. You got interrupted. No, I saw. I'll give you some time. All right.
All right. Let's go to. Okay.
So what did you get?
I'll tell you to what up I to like whatever
So
step I come to.
would you get? Did you get any answer for any x or what?
I got x equals 0 for one of them,
All right. I guess you got one of them. All right.
and then I
So,
was
mhm.
doing the second one, and then yeah,
All right. So let's walk through it too. Were you able to factor anything?
the 3x.
Okay. What would be? Let me change color just so it doesn't. Okay. And what you leave inside?
Uh, x squared minus 2
Mm-hmm. What else do I need to add? Is it or do I need to add something else?
equals 0.
Hey. Hey. Look, I'm looking at you. That's right, dude. Perfect. That's it. That's exactly right. Whatever thought process went through your head, keep it. Okay? That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait up. Nah, just kidding. It is. Nah, it is. All right. It's okay. So now that you have now what's the next thing? Tell me.
Then you like get like your like you so it's then you do like it's like 3x and then x squared minus 2, so it'll be 3x equals 0 and then x squared minus 2 equals 0.
I don't even know why I'm teaching. I'm still teaching you. Anyways, yeah, that's right. 3x equals 0 and x squared minus 2 equals 0, right?
Yeah.
All right. Is this making a little bit more sense? Feel more comfortable with it?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. So then how do we get rid of this? How do we isolate the x on this side? What do we do?
You divide by 3.
That's right. So easy enough with get x equals 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here, how do we isolate? What do we isolate?
You add 2.
Okay. Right.
And then
This cancels, right? So what are we left with on this side?
uh
And then
x squared equals 2.
okay.
And
What do we
then
do?
I don't I'm pretty sure you square root.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
You square root. Okay. Now
Alright.
this was kind of my fault because I thought the problem was gonna be easier than this. On this step, I didn't expect it to be x squared equals 2. Again, I'm not like that super math whiz people that can think answers
Yeah.
really far, and I'm not like that at all. But as far as you get to this, I'm okay with the process. Anything from here, Luca, is just algebra or math skills, right? Like, do you remember how to subtract, how to multiply, how to divide, how to negative square roots? You know all these little skills that we had, remember, in math?
Yeah.
But the steps that you did in what I'm trying for you to in what I'm trying to get you to learn right now, which you did, is factoring and setting it up when it's equal to 0. You good?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. You want me to solve that for you? I'll solve that for you, just so we don't leave hanging, you know?
Yeah.
So the correct way when you solve for a square root is you look at the exponent and you say, is this exponent even or odd? What is it?
Even.
Even. And the reason for that is because if it's an even exponent, when you solve for it, when you take the radical,
Yeah.
you're gonna have two answers. It's gonna be positive and negative.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, I learned that. I remember that.
dude, sometimes I impress myself too on how much stuff I retain. Anyways, so in the way instead of dividing by 3, adding 2, we're gonna do this.
Yeah, that's my yeah. Yeah.
Plus or minus, bro.
Yeah.
Did you ever play what's that called, Minecraft?
Yeah.
Bro, like these games are, you know how I feel games are now for you guys.
Yeah.
I feel like you're always getting something new and it's exciting on the game.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
Minecraft or whatever it is, I don't know how it starts, but I don't think you start with everything. I
No.
think but then I see how far people end. Dude, it's insane. Like they make computers or whatever it is, but going from nothing to that, it means that along the way there's a million gratifications of you getting something new for you to continue to be there that long, right?
Yeah.
Math doesn't give you those moments, those times so fast, but here, this thing that you just did, like, oh, plus or minus, this is something that you learned back then, like, oh yeah, an exponent, so you have it. But it's like
Yeah.
everything, you have to use it. So make sure that when you're in school, man, the little bit that you have in math class, pay attention, because sometimes that's all you have to do math, and you gotta retain. Minecraft, you would use it all the time probably. um
Yeah.
all right. So now that so the square root of plus or minus, this cancels this exponent. So we're left with x equals plus or minus radical 2. That's it.
Yeah.
This is as far as you go. That's it.
Yeah.
So those are our two answers. X equals
Okay.
0 and x equals plus or minus radical 2.
Yeah.
Dude, good?
Yep.
Okay. Since we kind of spend a little bit more time, I'm sorry, but can't do long of a break right now. I really want to get into this topic before class is over, because I
Yeah.
saw it on some of your worksheets, right?
Yeah.
So some of your worksheets had um, binomials that sort of did like a FOIL factoring method. I don't know if you've heard that before. FOIL.
Yeah, no, I have. I'm looking trash at it though. It's because she wanted us to use it on the test, and like nobody knew how to do it because like she didn't teach us like how to do it. Like she just said, oh, like she went over something for like a couple minutes, and then she gave us like a worksheet, and then she never told us how to do it. So then on the test, like I really didn't know what to do on that part.
Do you remember how she remember anything about it? Nothing at all?
I'm sure right now no, but I'm sure once you write it, then it'll like I'll start remembering it.
Okay. All right. So let's do it. I don't honestly. There's like two. How can I attack this so we can not so we can be quick, not quick, but like take advantage of the take advantage of our time as much as possible. Because there's another thing that that I have to discuss too, which is the quadratic formula.
No,
Because
that
yeah,
yeah, and
because
yeah, I know that one.
all right, you know what is it? Let's write it down. Let's start with the quadratic formula.
X equals
Mm-hmm.
negative b
Mm-hmm.
plus or minus square root
Mm-hmm.
b squared minus 4ac
Mm-hmm.
and then over 2a.
All right. You have it. You have it tattooed somewhere or what?
Not just she made it seem like no, she made it seem like this. She made it seem like a song about it,
Oh,
and
okay.
then it's like yeah,
That's pretty cool. A song?
yeah, no, that's what I said.
Can I hear it?
Nah,
Okay. I never heard. I don't. Did I? Maybe I did learn it, but maybe I blocked it out because maybe
yeah,
it was a traumatic moment for me in my life. Who knows? I don't know. Or maybe I didn't learn it. I don't know. But
yeah,
I've anyway, okay. So you can use this one literally all the time as long as you identify what A is, what B is,
yeah,
right, and what
yeah,
C is. You just plug and chug, right?
yeah,
Is
uh-huh.
it plug and chug? Plug and check? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But you just plug it in, solve it, right?
Yeah,
but but also like again math is about learning patterns and recognizing um just yeah just repetitive things but processes and FOIL method is actually it's useful, it's actually useful. So but the thing about the FOIL method, it's not like you can memorize one true step and it'll be the same all the time. You just have it's like you have to understand what's going on so that you know why here ax squared plus bx plus c. This is what it is, right?
yeah,
So so when you're factoring into something like a FOIL, when you're going from here, from this step, oh my goodness, right, from this step to here, you you have to kind of visually know what's going on, what's multiplying with what to get, to get this, or to get this. You have to know what's in here, how this affects what's over here,
yeah,
when you get this, when if you know that, that's for me, that's the holy grail of this. That's how I learned it, and probably that's why I'm sharing it, right?
yeah.
But that's kind of the idea. There's no one specific formula, and there's people that have used this, I don't like this X thing.
Oh yeah, Xbox.
Bro, I didn't never learned it. I never understood. It never clicked with me like that for me to be like, this makes sense.
Yeah,
For ax squared plus bx plus c, I'm gonna be real with you. Let's go through one example. I'm gonna explain it to you, and you tell me how it goes.
okay.
All right. So let's go one example. Dude, math's supposed to be challenging, yes, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't get to a point that you just people are willing to give up, just to just to toss the towel, dude. You know. All right. So let's do one together. So let's do this, and we're gonna go simple because I think always starting with the simple problem is always helpful. So example, and we'll call this example FOIL, just because that's how we can know, right? FOIL method, FOIL. All right. So the problem is gonna be x squared hold on, minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. All right. Let's hope I didn't make a mistake, dude. So if not, we're gonna have to use the quadratic formula. Okay. Before we go, can you if I ask you, hey, can you solve this? Would you be able to would you be able to do it? Try to give it a shot.
Probably not.
Give it a shot.
Okay. I'm kind of confused though. I thought FOIL it was like I thought it was two parentheses
Mm-hmm.
and then it would equal 0 and then it was like first like it was like first inner and then first outer and then it's like confusing. I don't know.
Yeah, no. So what I'm hearing you say,
It's
and
like
if
the
I'm
first
picturing is
one.
you have something here, and it goes
Yeah.
inner, and
Yeah,
then it
yeah,
goes
yeah.
outer,
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah,
this
yeah,
one you
like
have
that.
inner, then you have outer, right?
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
like that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. At least you're not completely lost, right? That's good.
Yeah.
It is something like that. Okay, cool. All right. Can you know what? So can you tell me what numbers or what things or what values or what pictures or what would go there? What symbols?
Um
Okay.
probably not.
Don't worry. Let's go step by step. All right. First step, dude. We're going to right away look at the largest exponent,
Yeah.
but variable, right? And this is assuming you already know that the correct format to put it is from largest exponent to lowest exponent. But again, this is going too far ahead because right now you're in a stage where you're not going to look at any other variables that have a higher exponent of 2. All right.
Yeah.
But just I like to tell you because it's the same thing. Um, don't get scared because if problems look bigger. All right. So the first thing we're going to look at the biggest one, which is x squared. Now, the way x squared comes from here, like if values exist here, the values that get multiplied together that eventually, come up x squared, I'll tell you where they are. They're in two unique specific spots and they're never going to change. Do you know where they are?
Uh no.
Here and here. They're the first two values of the parentheses. Those two values that if you multiply those two together for 100%, you're going to get that first value. And what's that first value in this example? X squared. So what two numbers or what two numbers, variables, whatever, that you can put one here and one here that are the same or that work, not that work, it gives you x squared. Not the same, that work.
Uh so what can I put
Yeah.
here in the first one and then in the second one to get x squared?
Okay. Yeah. So pause there. Let me just kind of clean up what I said earlier.
Yeah.
This x squared value, it's gonna come from. So we know that if I multiply this and this together, I should get this on the top, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how I'm gonna get x squared? The values that are gonna multiply from down here, the values that are gonna multiply are in a specific location, and they'll always be there. I mean, you can always make them be there, and that's what I recommend. And the two places are here in the first parentheses. It's in the first spot. It's first, and in the second parentheses, it's also first. So the value that's here and the value that's here, if I multiply these two together, if I multiply those two together, I should get x squared. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What should those
So
values be in this
it
problem?
just x.
Here? Okay, that
Yeah.
would be that value. Well, okay. So here's x. What would be this value?
And it's just to get x squared.
Yeah, that's right. Just say x squared. Let's just do that.
So it's just x.
That's right, dude.
Okay, just
All
making
right.
sure.
All right. All right. All right. So check this out. Let's check this out. So we have, I'm going to do another one. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Now in this one, the same thing. Same logic. What did I say? We're going to look at this one, right? and this.
Yeah.
And if I multiply these two together, what value should I get in this example?
3x squared.
That's right, 3x squared. So what two numbers can go here and here that I would get 3x squared if I
Uh,
multiply together?
1.5x times 1.5x.
Bro, what's 1 point? Dude, I know you're trying to be. I know. Probably I said because they're the same 1.5, 1.5. No, no, no. It's simpler than that. It's simpler than that. Like, remember, what two numbers multiply to 3x squared? Just what? Let's start with the number. So let's even let me even break it up here and here. These two have to equal 3x squared, right? So
Yeah.
before, let's think about the numbers. Let's first look at the number. What number are we trying to
Oh,
get?
oh, okay, yeah. This is okay. So 3x
Uh-huh.
and then x.
That's right.
Yeah, I am just dumb, bro.
No. All right.
I don't know, bro. It's because I don't know what goes through my brain. It's like I always think the wrong thing, and then 5 minutes later, I like finally understand it. Once, like, bro.
Wouldn't that be kind of like the opposite of being dumb? If you're able to, if you didn't know something and then all of a sudden, like 5 minutes later, you know it, it means that you're pretty good at capturing new things, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess. Well,
I
yeah.
don't know. To each their own, right? All right. Here's another one. Here's another one. Actually, yeah. All right. Let's now this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you reading that? Are you writing this down with me, bro, or am I learning on
Oh,
my own?
yeah, Reddit. Yeah. Yeah, Reddit.
All right. So let's go back again. What number are we trying to get now?
6x squared.
That's right. And it should be here and here. So what values can I put there? That would give
Uh,
me 6x squared. What two?
just,
Uh-huh.
just like the same as the last one. Just like
Well,
6x
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
times x.
Okay.
Or,
Remember, when
wait,
I hope when you say what we did last time, it's saying it's the same idea.
like the
It's the
same.
same
Yeah.
thing. Two
Yeah.
numbers, two numbers that I wrote it wrong, huh?
Yeah.
6x
X.
times x. Two numbers that multiply together equals 6x squared, right? Cool. That's right. 6 times x is x squared. What else?
Uh, 2 times 3x squared.
I bet. Hold on. Um, so we have 2x, right? Times what?
Yeah. Or wait, no, just 2.
Okay, so this is the one thing about this though. There's no point of using
Well,
there's no point of doing x squared because
oh
we're
yeah.
trying to factor it, right? We're kind of going backwards. It's
Oh
defeats
yeah.
the purpose, right? We're trying to break it apart. So it's we should have x.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
should go lower. Okay.
So then 2x times 3x.
Ahí está, primo. Now check this out though. Check this out. No. I think no. I'm not gonna make it more confusing. What else? What two other numbers multiply to 6x squared? That's it.
Uh,
That's it. Right? So in this particular problem, for this one to factor, it could be this one or it could be this one. Who knows? But you know what, dude? At least you already got the first two right.
yeah.
You don't have to worry about it. So like that's the thing. That's the exercise. Okay, let's go back to the problem that we were doing so that we can continue doing into the other two, and that's gonna be the end of the class. Okay?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
all right. Okay, so now that we have those two, now what goes here? Right?
Uh,
Well, if the first ones multiply together to give you the first one, what do you think the values here, if you put there, should multiply together and give you?
the last one.
The last one, dude. You see, like math is like that, dude. It works like that. It kind of fits with us because it's a human invented subject that has been invented no matter where you're from, where you're coming from. There's this thing that says if like this guy said it. But anyways, he said it well that if you kind of destroy everything, all the books ever, and then you start all over again, like math books and science book would be the books that would eventually come to existence again because they're just, anyways, getting too much into that. You're just in eighth grade. All right, so so we have these two values. So yes, what values could go here that multiply together to give you 6?
2 and 3.
2 and 3. Now before I write them down, is okay. So okay, so back again. So what two numbers that multiply here are going to give you positive 6? This time you have to consider on check scratch that. Forget about this guy. Forget about the positive.
Okay.
Let's just look at the number. What two numbers that if you multiply together give you 6?
2 and 3.
All right. So I'm not going to write them here yet. I'm going to put them here on the side. But I'm going to use that's right. So it could be 2. It could be 2 or 3 here, right?
Yeah.
All right. All right. What two other numbers?
6 and 1.
That's right. It could be either 6 or 1 there.
Yeah.
That's right. 2 times 3 gives you 6, correct? And 6 times 1 gives you 6. But this is the fun part. I know. And the reason I say it's the fun part because it's the puzzle part of of this process. So what I just showed you, it's not a puzzle. What I first showed you, you know that okay, right away I know the first two have to multiply together to give me that the first value, x squared. And if the last two together they multiply, they should give me 6. I have that. The next thing is, how do you know if it's 2 and 3? How do you know, or if it's 6 and 1? And how do you know if it's positive or negative? This is the moment where you figure that out right here. So you got to think. So now that you got that information, now we go here, and we look at the middle one, and we look what's here. What value does the x have?
A negative 5.
Negative 5. Yeah. Here in this case, we're not gonna care about the x anymore. Here, we're only gonna care about this value, negative 5. Now, what combination of each of these two, this one or this one, can you use to get negative 5? If you add them together.
The 2 and 3.
2 and 3. And why add them together?
Because
and not subtract them. Because of this guy. If once you see this positive sign here, right? So that means that these two values are going to be adding up, because when you have two values that have the same sign, this is what I'm talking about, dude. What's this? What's 2 times 3? What's this?
6.
Good. What's this?
6.
Also 6.
Yeah.
Right? So again, when you're multiplying two numbers with the same sign, that either they're both positive or they're both negative, the answer will always be positive. So in this particular example, it's plus 6. You're just so because it's positive, you know that the two numbers that you got here, they have to add up to be, they have to they're gonna add up. Anyways, okay. So now that you know this is negative 5, what pattern here adds up to 5? You recognize right away, 2 and 3. Perfect. So it's going to be 2 and 3. So it's going to be 2 and 3 here. Because 2 and 3 make 5, right? Now what sign is it going to be? What sign is it's going to go here? Well, if these two are adding and they're making this here, what sign should they be to make negative 5?
Positive. Oh wait. Negative 5?
Right? So in order to get negative 5, what should this value and this value be? 2 and 3. We're adding them up, right? We're adding this and this but they should equal -5.
It's not
So what should the signs of 2 and 3 be? So that if I add them, I get -5.
negative or minus.
So here would be minus and here would be minus. That's right, because what's -3 minus 2? -5. That's correct, man. Yeah. So you would have here minus and minus. Okay? One second. Let me move this a little bit down. Okay. So now here. So now we can go back to what I taught you earlier, and we'll finish this, and then you have those two to do on your own, right? So
Yeah.
now let's go back to what we learned in the beginning of the class, which is now we have a problem equal to 0, right? Let me get rid of this stuff since we already got our answers. So now let's solve this problem, right? So now that we have our two things, we have this, right? We have this side times this side. How can we set it up? They're both equal to 0. How do we set this next part up, Luca?
We break it into x minus 2 and x minus 3 equals 0.
Okay, so what tell me what to write.
So x minus 2 equals 0.
Mm-hmm.
X minus 3 equals 0.
That's right. So let's solve that problem. So what would be the answer for the first one? What's the answer for x? X equals what here?
Positive 2.
That's right. And what's x equal here?
Positive 3.
There we go, homie. There we go. Now let's check. Let's check, dude. Like let's bring this and let's substitute it for x and see if it works.
Yeah.
So it's x squared. So instead of x squared, I'm going to put parentheses, squared minus 5, parentheses, plus 6 equals 0, right? And we said if we did it correctly, if we put in 2 or 3, that whole thing should give us 0. And if not, I did it wrong. And then I'm going to look not that smart, right? So let's first put this, like we're going to put 2 like that, right?
Yeah.
So let's put 2. 2 and 2. So what's 2 squared? 4. What's then the next thing? -5 times 2, what's that?
-10.
2, you're so smart. And then plus 6 equals 0, right?
Yeah.
What's 4 minus 10 plus 6? Well,
-6.
4 and 6, was that? Positive 10.
Yeah.
10 minus 10 equals 0. Oh, you're right. You were going to do -6, right? -6 plus 6 is 0. That works. Let's use 3 now. Right?
Yeah.
So 3 squared, that's 9.
9.
Then it would be, what's next?
-15.
Uh-huh. So what's that?
0, because 9 plus 6 is 15, and
That's
then
right, dude.
15 minus 15 is 8.
So it works. So we got our 2 answers. Okay?
Yeah.
We're gonna stop there because this is heavy. If you get it on these next 2 problems, you're able to do them on your own, dude. My hat's off to you. Not saying that you can't or you should. Not saying anything, but next in our next class, we're gonna start here. So we're gonna do these. But the pattern is that the first thing you look at is the first one, dude. We're gonna look at this x squared. The trick is, okay, what goes in the first part of each parentheses, if I multiply those two together, that should give me x squared. And if you really thought about it, that's not a hard thing to figure out, right?
Yeah.
And then the same thing for the other one. Oh, dude, is it the same for the next step too? Yeah, it is, right? So man, so that's it, dude. Good job today, and review. Next time you log in, I'll have it ready today. I'm glad that you're able to log in into your account. It's just the information doesn't show, which is your the links for this video, for this recording. If you want to watch it again, like when you do the examples, you can rewind for this. And I'll have the notes as well, all the notes that I have here. And so you can and the link should work. But But and if what you have my number, so as soon as you log in, it works. Just give me a message saying, "Hey, dude, I was able to log in. Cool." And that's
Okay.
it. All right, man.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Isaac.
All right, bye, Luca.
Bye.